We never even attempted to show the data. We never even attempted the fucking counter message. I did, but nobody gives a shit. People just yelled at me and said, you're wrong. And even your Democratic Party that you love because you're a libtard doesn't agree with you. It broke the brains of people that are closest to me. My uncle's fucking brain got broken by the crime panic. What are we talking about? I know, I'm trying my fucking best, but it's not like people listen to me. Yeah. Here's a video from
Narrative
2021.
Is incredibly annoying from the media, by the way. They are absolutely feeding into this. And they're going to cause the Democrats to behave in a totally, even in a more reactionary way than they were already going to behave. It is so incredibly manufactured. There's always been a crisis at the border. When there are humanitarian problems occurring at the border as a consequence of the conditions there, 120 degrees they have to traverse in the desert, all that sort of stuff. And then also the American government adding on to the cruelty with the way that they choose to deal with people that are crossing the border, that are seeking asylum. There is an extra crisis on the border. There's always a crisis on the border. It's never stopped. The problem is the way media covers it. You can either cover it like you do under the Trump administration, which is somewhat honestly, from a moral grandstand point of view, like an actual honest point of view, by saying this is really messed up, this is really horrible, the way that we are treating these people is absolutely ridiculous. Or you can treat it in a way where you look at the border and you say, there's a gigantic crisis happening in the border currently, and it's really bad because so many people are coming in. So many people are coming in. So many people are coming in. What are we going to do? Depending on who is in charge, we either deal with it from the point of view of reactionary garbage, claiming that this is a huge issue, not taking an actual stance on it, but just simply channeling the right-wing agitations as they have done. Just covering it as, many Americans are concerned that the border is turning into a pylon with hundreds of thousands of migrants coming in through the floodgates. Like, that's no different than what Fox News says. No different than what Fox News says. When MSNBC is saying it, or whenever, the Associated Press is covering it in that way, they're doing a disservice. If they truly have a left-wing point of view in the way that, so many imply, then they have to recognize that simply offering contentious coverage on a particular matter does not mean that you're doing honest coverage on the issue. So, House GOP leaders head to the southern border as Democrats ready immigration bills. So, Democrats are putting forward some immigration bills right now, and the hilarity here is what Kevin McCarthy, California Republican and House Minority Leader, is decided he's going to do a news conference about the U.S.-Mexico border policy outside the Capitol on Thursday, or did one, and has decided to do a field trip to the border. Remember, these guys are the same guys that laughed at AOC when she went to the border camps and cried, right? So now they're going to do the exact same thing, but from the Republican side. Now they themselves are going to go and be like, oh my God, a brown person walked through an imaginary border that we had set here. Obviously, this means every American is going to be raped. All white Americans are about to be raped and murdered. We need to literally start shooting people. So that's where we're at right now with the border crisis.
Damn, dude, this guy has sound political instincts. That's crazy. How did he predict that the Republican Party would run on the most unimaginably vitriolic rhetoric on immigrants that would sweep the nation if left unchecked by the Democratic Party? We certainly shouldn't. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Who is this guy? I should have him on the broadcast. Who is this fucking guy? I should probably have him on the broadcast to hear his perspective.
And the media is absolutely allowing Republicans to get away with it. This crisis at the border is spiraling out of control, McCarthy told reporters last week, and it's entirely caused by the actions of this administration. He sent a letter to Biden in early March requesting a meeting to discuss the increasing numbers of migrants at the border and work together to solve it. Like what? What are we going to do? What are the Democrats going to do? Work together with Kevin McCarthy? Like what? How are they going to work together? They're already, overflow facilities and all this other cruel shit that Democratic administrations rarely ever scale back. Wait, what's going on at the border? Absolutely nothing that is different, okay? That's the whole point that I'm trying to make here. Nothing different is happening at the border that hasn't happened in perpetuity in the United States of America. The only difference is an administration is different now, and they're going to do still the senseless cruelty on the immigrants that are trying to find a better life for themselves. But this time the media is going to act as the cudgel or act as they are contentious and pretty much push the administration that was already willing to do reactionary garbage to begin with to immigrants because nobody gives a shit about them. They're going to use the public opinion on immigration as a reason as to why they have to have these detention centers and why they have to do these like dragnet ICE raids and shit like that. That's it. Recently, Vice was on the ground.
Back then, did you think their lies would ever get as insane as they are now? They were saying hundreds of thousands for a while, but now they're just saying 20 million, which is fucking crazy. Yeah, I'm watching myself because everything I said on March 15th, 2021, in terms of how right-wing strategy will be to beef up the immigrants are rapist narrative will not be met with any kind of real counter messaging from the Democratic Party. And if they don't actually counter message against the Democratic Party, if they don't actually counter message against the Democratic or the Republican Party, that they're going to lose on this issue dramatically. And the media is going to absolutely fucking beef up that narrative in an effort to be contentious.
Around at the border, the reality of reversing the Biden-Trump policy. Okay, I'll watch this. So ultimately, the biggest change here with Biden's administration versus Donald Trump so far has been processing asylum seekers and allowing them to come into the country again. Right? The Trump administration was like, nope, it's done. It's over because of COVID. We're like totally ending it. And even before that, they were like, if you come here, we're going to murder you. Okay. We're going to lock you in fucking jail for an extended period of time. You're going to have to do slave labor. Sorry, sucks to suck. And we're going to separate you from your children. We're going to do senseless cruelty to you if you try to come into this country. So the big change there is the Biden administration has said, we are processing asylum seekers. So there's still so much more going.
What do you think the media would do for the next 2 months if Kamala came out in favor of the immigration stance you want her to take? Not trying to be snarky, like legit, what's your media analysis? I think Kamala Harris has a very tricky, and I said this already, I said that Kamala Harris has a very tricky situation ahead of her because she can't separate from Joe Biden so dramatically on the issue of immigration. But on the messaging front, she can at least be a little bit more tolerant and drop certain aspects of the Biden campaigning. For example, a fucking right-wing, white nativist immigration bill. Never talk about that ever again. Forget that it existed. Forget that that was a talking point. Forget that the Brandon campaign put that forward. Don't do that. Don't ever do that ever again. Okay? Just move the conversation away from your weaknesses. Okay? Move the conversation away from your weaknesses and redirect the attention back to your strong suits. Okay? Talk about how Donald Trump wants to do mass deportation. Okay? Walk people through the steps on how mass deportation will happen. Because no matter what, Americans lack the vision. They do not understand. They think it sounds good, but they don't understand how fucking psychotic that process would be. No American, as demonstrated under the Trump regime, likes the idea of children in concentration camps. Explain to them that this is exactly like that, if not worse. Mass deportation implies dragnets. It implies BORTAC, like geared up military style special weapons and tactics, doing door knocking operations in American neighborhoods that are brown. Okay. Donald Trump has routinely brought up Eisenhower's Operation W Word. Okay. Operation W Word. I won't say the word, and how good that is. That was 1.3 million Mexicans and Mexican Americans, mind you, being mass deported from this country, put in concentration camps and mass deported from this country. He's brought that up numerous times as a sick fucking policy that he wants to bring back. Okay?
As soon as we grab, perhaps we take a woman with 2 children, 3 children. She shouldn't be here, but she's a nice woman. The children are beautiful. And all of a sudden it ends up being a front page story of the liberal newspapers. And you're right, it's a hard thing to do. Harder than a long time ago with Dwight Eisenhower, right? A lot harder. Nobody complained. In those days it was, we had a country that was much different.
But would the media eat that up, or would they side with the Republicans on where they go, but the border and the convoys are a problem? No. The media fucking hates Trump. What are you talking about? The media fucking despises Donald Trump. They hate him. They love shitting on him. Do you not remember what it looked like? Do you not remember what it looked like when he was president? The media was talking like they were fucking the media would literally run coverage on the issue of immigration that was so pro-immigration that motherfuckers, myself included, okay, were running around comfortably saying abolish ICE. What are we talking about? Like abolish ICE was like a thing that had momentum. It's crazy. That wasn't that long ago. That was like 6 years ago. It feels like it was a lifetime ago. I thought you were radical for so long, but I still enjoyed your content. But the longer I watch, the longer I've realized your takes are usually pretty on point. Thanks. I appreciate that you never change stances and you've been consistent, and it shows a lot about you. Yeah, a lot of people claim I'm radical because this society is increasingly more and more sick, okay? And getting worse. Anyway. Doesn't the border bill tone down that extreme position? No, dude. The border bill capitulates to the right-wing framing at the heart of that insanely extreme position. Okay? You cannot fight, especially because it's also built around lies. That's what makes me so mad. Because the entire story about immigrants being rapists and drug dealers and murderers is a fucking lie. Okay? I'm over here begging that people in the Democratic Party at least say the truth. That's how far gone we are. Like, say the fucking truth about immigration. Say the fucking truth. Yeah, we already read this article earlier. Say the truth. Immigrants are not a burden on American society. When you don't do that, when you don't actually say the truth, when you don't actually counter message against the right-wing framing on the issue of immigration, you're just dropping that entirely, knowing full well that it's always an exit ramp. People make jokes about this. Everybody knows, oh, it's so... Isn't it weird how every 2 years, whenever there's a midterm election or whenever there's a general election, migrant caravans prop up at the border? All of a sudden, everyone's like, oh my God, there's an invasion happening. Isn't that weird? You know they're going to use this. You know they're going to lie about this. They never stop lying about it. Migrants of the year 2024 are responsible for what? Fucking 24 murders. Okay? Not hundreds of thousands in the way that Trump is suggesting over and over again. Clip this for October when Fox News talks about the migrant caravan. Yeah, it'll happen.
Going on that there's still so much that needs to be reformed on the back end, but even a little bit of reform has immediately gotten Republicans to act like the country is falling apart and they're literally burning it to the ground. And now we're going to be waving Guatemalan flags everywhere instead of the American flag, yada yada.
With active.
You look at these cartel members, brother. You don't understand. Cartel members have changed they've changed the way they look, brother. You think, oh, I'm sorry. You think I'm a sexist? You're willing to tell me that you don't think that these are girl boss cartel members right here, brother? Yeah, I fucking know. I know that these cartels are woke. They're SJW cartels. That's why they got women. They're trying to come in here and do queer Marxism. Republicans be like, they got shoes. Why are they coming in? It seems like they're pretty privileged to me. Looking real privileged to me. This one's got an iPhone. Dude, this video covers very little on beyond what's going on with what people are doing. Kevin McCarthy, minority leader in the House, is literally doing what AOC did, but on the other side,
How do you show that? You can easily say the Dems want them on our welfare. You can say that they're destroying New York City. You can say they're taking resources from underserved communities that are American citizens. How do you properly message along the lines of immigration? What are you talking about? Just show them the fucking data, okay? You can say that the Dems want them on our welfare. We don't have what welfare state do we have? Undocumented migrants can't take advantage of a lot of these social safety nets that are already like pretty fucking limited to begin with for documented American citizens too. You can say they're destroying New York City. No, they're not. What do you mean? What are we doing? It's literally, it's straight up just madness. It's like when Republicans claim that Portland was on fire all the time. Republicans also think that every Democrat-run city is a crime-ridden shithole where everything is on fire all the fucking time, including but not limited to my own fucking backyard. I've had Republican chatters try to argue with me and claim that no, I'm actually a pussy and I'm blind to the realities of unrestricted crime occurring in my own fucking backyard. And the dude is signing off from like an Ohio suburb telling me that California is a crime-ridden shithole. Once again, these are all long and hard-fought right-wing hysteria that they have worked tirelessly to cultivate over the course of the past 4 years. Capitulating to that framing only puts you on a defensive posture on a losing issue. This is my point. Showing the data didn't work well on crime. Why would it work well on immigration? What do you mean showing the data didn't work well on crime? The fuck are you talking about? No, once the media started talking about like, oh, actually, the crime panic was like a little bit too much. It literally, you're so wrong. There was never a moment where the Democrats showed data. They literally leaned into the crime panic narratives as well. It almost cost them the fucking New York gubernatorial race. The Democrats never actually turned around and said, no, this crime shit is like absolutely blown out of proportion. You guys are fucking delusional. They literally were just as Hitlerian as the Republicans are on that narrative. And now we're seeing think pieces be like, how did Americans become so incredibly invested in this crime narrative? It's hard to when you see vids of inner city America. Oh my God. Yes, dude, I know. Anecdotes are more powerful than data analysis. I know this. I understand. The job of our leaders is to actually fucking reason with unreasonable people. You can't say Democrats pushing data didn't work when they didn't do that. They just leaned into the anecdotes and they got scared. How do you guys not understand that this way of thinking leads you down right-wing reactionary rabbit holes in general? Well, everyone believes it, so I guess we have no other option but to lean into it, is unironically a losing posture on every issue. It means you're giving the game to the right wing to dominate the conversation and then playing catch up by leaning into the right wing framing on issues. Anecdotal, I use Facebook because I'm old, and a post about her wanting to sign the border bill on there, easily 80+% of the responses are super in support, saying things like about time, and I didn't know Trump killed it. We need this. Not a single person under 35. None of them know what's in the bill, feel helpless. How do you fight against this at the moment? I can't do anything. You can't do anything either. The Democratic Party could try and at least restructure the message around it. Okay? Yeah, I watched a shark attack video. Beaches are no longer safe. Very reasonable internet paranoia these days. Tyler Oliveira pilled. Anecdotes are so strong, man. Exactly. We never even attempted to show the data. We never even attempted the fucking counter message. I did, but nobody gives a shit. People just yelled at me and said, you're wrong. And even your Democratic Party that you love because you're a libtard doesn't agree with you. It broke the brains of people that are closest to me. My uncle's fucking brain got broken by the crime panic. What are we talking about? I know, I'm trying my fucking best, but it's not like people listen to me until it's far too late. And then they arrive at the same positions that I had for fucking years. And then they go, oh, we were always here. They just lie. Scoop, Kamala Harris is expected to announce her running mate by Tuesday when she will hold her first rally pig with her pig in Philadelphia. The two will then hit Western Wisconsin, Detroit, Raleigh, Savannah, Phoenix, and Las Vegas. Oh, God, it's going to be Josh Shapiro. The campaign aide cautioned against reading too much into the first stop, however. Neoliberals will wait to change their minds on immigration until Bortak breaks down their neighbor's door. Oh. Anyway. Look at how much I had to use. Look at how much data I had to fucking use to like explain such a simple position. That's why it's so goddamn hard.